Well, as we all stated, they are talking about reparations. They are. They're discussing it in a way uh, where they're trying to be serious with us about what we're deserving. And as we speak, I am downtown exercising, and I have a white man in front of me, two black sisters that look like a couple, and I have a Chinese man walking ahead of me. He just passed me. He's moving fast, and he did look at me some type of way. Out of nine out of 10, when you run into these groups, they're gonna look at you like you what you are because they're so free at it. This racism is sick, and and it's not like you can always prove racism, but you see it, you know what it looks like, you know what it feels like, and even if it's not done on purpose, it's still racism. This is what the hell happened to us, and we sit up here right now, pats on the back, claps to the hand, to B1, ADOS, FBA, all of us. I don't care who has the more influence. We're all doing it. And reparations is on the discussion table. Now they're trying to mix it and dilute it, so you got to be careful. And this is sick. It is very disgusting that they would even do that. But that's what they're doing. However, that is what they are doing. They are mixing and diluting our cause like we ain't nothing, like we ain't nobody. That's what they doing. But that ain't where we gonna stop at. This is where we pick up the baton. This is where we draw back and draw in. You don't do that. And we're not gonna allow that. But the reparation discussion is on the table of the representatives and our politicians and our city officials in certain cities. And it definitely needs to be in Atlanta, the way they gentrifying here and tearing down black folks' property and building up all these glass houses and redoing all this beautiful property. And they out here taking pictures with their little camping sacks and their little man bags and everything. And other groups running around here promoting themselves, standing on the curb, taking pictures of property that were once owned by black people or occupied by black people, instead of redoing it and facing them. Now you're being redlined as a black person. At the same time, other people are getting checks and protections and policies to redline you while you don't have any food or any protection. There's so many things you don't have as opposed to reparations. You don't have protection for your very harm, physical harm, let alone the economics so you can live in better conditions and not be in squalor. So you can act accordingly to what you can promote, what you can have. You can't, when people don't have something, they don't act like it. When people have stuff, they start to act like it. That's the difference. And so you look at black Americans and ADOS and stuff and FBA and say, most of y'all do this, do that, do that, do this. And you've been like denied access to all these beautiful things. You know, this is the problem. This is the problem. You can't even, according to science, the way you're acting is desperate. You may not feel that it's desperate. You don't even really know what people got. A lot of black folks don't even know what other people got because you're a slave. Slaves are supposed to be ignorant. But now a lot of us are not slaves. We're really revolutionary. But slaves are supposed to be ignorant. They're not supposed to know what's going on. They're not supposed to know what people have. And they don't, largely. They don't. This has been the problem. This is what we're talking about. We are harmed in so many places you have no damn idea. You can name by five, I can name five, somebody else can name five. We are really a group that has been plundered. They have made us basically, we have been made contagion to wealth. Contagion. When you're contagious to something, you can't have it. It'll harm you. So wealth would not harm us, but in terms of contagion, you can't access it for natural reasons or reasons that only belong to you. You as this person cannot do something because it's so away from you, it's so divided from you, and that's why other black people don't want other black people to have, because wealth either or riches or whatever, because that's how it is. Now that's what I mean when I say contagion to it. So anyway, we get that understanding. But what I'm saying though is they're on the table for discussion. But I'm gonna say something very interesting here. Thank you for subscribing to my channel for one. And I know my talk should be a little bit more passionate, and I'm gonna be there. However, yes, I'm gonna go there. But I want to say something interesting. Largely, I want to talk about this. I feel, it's black people's fault too. Now, largely, white supremacy is the common denominator for you being the way you are as a black person, not practicing self-preservation. But when you become dumbed down to the point where now this is in your hearts of hearts to not speak for yourself, you have come to learn to hate yourself without even knowing what you're doing. So black people hate themselves in politics and everywhere. This is your fault. After you have been shaped by power, which is white supremacy. You've been shaped by this thing that's bigger than you, but now you have a form of fashion to it, like it's something that you love to do. Like it's something you love to do. So you stood up for immigration. That's hating yourself because you don't even know the catchboard. You don't even know the chessboard you're playing on. So you are subconsciously in direct hate of yourself and your cause. Most black people. Y'all that's sitting around buzzed and high on weed all the time with the music playing trap music, looking crazy and funny and stupid out the eyes. Like you ain't got no sense. Worrying about a boyfriend, or he worried about a girl, or y'all playing games, gossiping about folks, gossiping about black entertainment, putting them on pedestals, while other people are taking advantage of policies, protection, and community values. You must be a fool. So we like little children, lost children. We right now, a black person should never roll their eyes at another black person. But that's what's going on. It happens to me all the time. I can be walking down the street, and I guarantee you, every time I walk down the street, and I'm in the other place, there's gonna be at least 5 to 10 black people that's gonna roll their eyes at me. Because either they're gonna look at me and say, oh, you don't look and act like me, or they're gonna look at me and say, you think you are that. One of the two. But whatever they do, it's very, very assured that it will not be unity. They can look at me any kind of way in the world, except for like a brother, except for like a family member, except for like a friend, like a protector, because you're a contagion to wealth. Wealth is a community sport. You've learned to hate each other. You've learned to say one is better than the other, because that's what's the game. It is like that with black people. Oh, I made it, you didn't. You need to get off your sorry ass, or your sorry butt, excuse me. But there's some other person talking point. Other people don't talk like that about their groups. Other people do not speak like that about their group, about their lineage. They say, they say stuff like, well, you're being lazy. They may in their own private chambers. But we have the ideology to hate one another because of attributes or some wrong practice. We don't understand the safety and practice of safety of community and family. As a people, we lost that, and it was purposely designed. Now, that has a lot to do with how Economics can put you there. When you're in province, I say it on all my talks, you are desperate and you are adjacent to crime. And now these other black people looking at you as you a criminal, you're looking at them as they are criminal, when all y'all criminals. But we're all not criminals. We're supposed to be. A lot of us fit the criteria to be a criminal in terms of finance. This is science. And all they need to do is get our reparations together, cut the check for black Americans, for the slave descendants, turn around, grab on to policies and anchored, born, legislated order for the banks to pay back the government so it can be a project and center black people's movement at a respect, at a liberty, at a historical remembering and a respect for those who are black people who want to opt and reshape themselves and reshape our community as professionals and as adult Americans with a divine purpose to our community and to our society as a people. That is denying us the right to be people and to have intellectual presence. And that's not what we're doing here. We're doing the opposite. We are people, and we are taking the power to have an intellectual presence. And it is black people's fault. I'm exercising. Let me get these big trucks coming through. They ain't number immigrants driving them. They got all the jobs, especially in Atlanta. While black people run around smiling, looking crazy, thinking ain't nothing going on. I hate to see that, because it's progressing, and you don't think nothing going on. Everything on the news, you want to catch it as though you don't have a problem. Anything major happen, they throw it up, blow it up, so you don't pay attention to black issue when you are the one in dire state. Standing at the corner of other groups in a wetsuit, look like that probably cost them $200-300 to jog in. Looking back at you like you want something from them when they over here on your property, taking from you, sucking from this country ever since black Americans built it. And these are all white people, white immigrants. They're the worst ones, and they're very private about how they feel. But they acted it out. They're showing you by adopting what you're supposed to have, and you're not saying nothing. When black people, when you stood up for immigration, I'm going to tell you, you caused yourself, your children, and your community at large to be at harm and in dire state. Mothers, I'm sorry, I love you. When you decided to do that as a place in government, when we told you not to do it, your act put us in dire situation as a group, as a society, not just as a group or a community, as a whole society. When we out here as black people trying to make it, we can't do it because you voted wrong and you stood up for immigration. Do you realize that's a slap in the face? You might as well take a crowbar stick and hit us in the head if you're going to stand for immigration. You don't know nothing about these people. You don't know nothing about these people coming to your country, building pancake houses, building taco shops, taking your gas station, selling liquor on the corner to your family, them Arabs. You don't know nothing about these people. Why you standing up talking about President Trump is a racist for sending them home? You don't know nothing about these people who were never in slavery. Our government racist. Obama racist. As a white, with a white mother and an African dad, giving them DACA, deferred action of childhood arrival. I mean, hell, Biden a racist for giving them your tax dollars. Why they shoot you? So many people, police officers. Why they treat you with racism? Biden is a Hitler, let alone Donald Trump. Trump was not as smart in terms of politics as Biden. Biden is a smart politician, and when I say that, I don't mean I mean every bit of disrespect I can get. I mean disrespect, but I don't mean, when I say that, I don't mean to be being as a compliment. He's smart in politics. Well, they have told politicians in America that black people are slaves and you don't do nothing for them. They have caused and sanctioned our demise as an American law, as an American judicial and an American protection system. And Joe Biden is smart enough to keep that on the playing field. Trump wasn't. Yeah, he's a racist. Yeah, American government is racist. White men, you can practice racism anytime you're ready because America failed us. And when the reparation comes, America can denounce your actions against this and put something in action so that we can continue to be harmed and your act. We can't continue to have to. We can't continue your act of racism around our society through reparations, through mandating an act and a bill and a crime bill. And they're already doing that right now. That's part of the reparation. That's what they do. When they give people stuff and they give them protection, they also give them money. That's what they did to the Asians. That's what they did to everybody this year. Haven't did it for black people. So anyway, what I'm saying, black people largely, you talking about Donald Trump, you know, simply said all that for what? At the end of the day, you learned that you were tricked and fooled by the media, and you had your children hollering and screaming, crying, trying to get you not to do it, and y'all did it anyway. Y'all did it anyway. So now we experiencing it, and it is hard, and it's disgusting, and it hurts to see somebody give your country to other people while they walk all over you and hire you at your job if you want to work like you some kind of slave Negro by other groups. That hurts. And you did practice your vote, and you did practice, and you are a traitor against the nation. Now we can forgive you and we can change that. But at this point, you are literally a traitor against the nation. Friends and all. You're my friends and brothers and sisters out there. When you place your vote this time and did not recognize